Stream. Hello, Amber Vilhauer here, and this is the first in a series of live streams that I'm going to be doing over the next few weeks in a series that is all tied into how to have a successful launch. I think those of you who are authors in the online space, you are going to probably get the most value out of this because I have been working really hard lately with best-selling author Mike Michalowicz and his awesome ghostwriter AJ Harper on developing his next book launch plan for his legacy book that comes out in March of 2020, published by Penguin Random House. So we have been working really hard to construct a book launch strategy that's going to last for the next year. And it has to be something that is really sophisticated, innovative, creative, right? Because what I know as somebody who has been deep in the trenches in the online world in the past decade, and I've been able to forecast where we're headed, I can tell you that the old way of launching, whether a book, a website, a Facebook live stream, an online program, a digital course, whatever it is, the old way of launching isn't going to work moving forward. The old way of launching, what has been pitched to us before, is just grow your list as big as possible and then hammer them with emails when it comes time to do your launch and force them to pay attention to you and buy. Now, of course, when you are launching, you're doing it in a place of service. You do want to help your community. But the old way of just building this big list, this idea, and then hammering them, launching at them, it's not going to work anymore, not moving forward, because people are in information overload. They're overwhelmed, they're stressed, they're desensitized, they're being pitched at constantly. So it's not going to work for you just to keep hammering your message at people. There's a new way. And this is something that I'm going to be really pounding in and driving home hard in coming weeks. And again, this is a really hot topic for me right now as we are in the throes of Mike's next book launch. And so if you're an author watching this series, you're going to get a ton of value out of this as you can prepare for your next book launch, whether it's next year or you haven't even started writing that book, but you still want to know how to launch with success. So Mike, AJ, and I have been working really hard on developing his launch plan, as I mentioned. Our goal is to sell 10,000 individual copies week one. So we're not talking about a mediocre launch where you kind of put in a little bit of effort and email your list a few times, hope a couple people promote for you too, and cross your fingers and see what happens. We are talking about being very intentional, very strategic, rooted in value and community and service. And we are talking about doing something significant that rallies the community, that raises the impact and leverages that impact to really create legacy, lasting legacy. So Mike is notorious for creating these outrageously phenomenal books. I have Profit First here, which is one that he is most well known for. And Mike is notorious for creating a phenomenal book that's going to stand the test of time. Let's call it a legacy book. And leveraging that book to really go out and fulfill his speaking platform and build a multi-million-dollar brand out of that process. And so that's the type of high-level information that we're going to be unveiling to you over the next couple of weeks as we lead into a live event, 2-day live event, June 3rd and 4th of 2019. Mike, AJ, and I are hosting that event together. It's at authoruplive.com, so you can go check it out. Really encourage you guys to pay close attention to this one, because instead of sitting around hoping that your next launch goes well, why not learn real time how to make sure your launch is significant and full of impact to develop your legacy? And that's what we're setting the stage for here. Now, if you want to have a successful book launch, okay, we're going to start this series with the actual book launch. You have to have a great book. So I have to give a shout out here to my friend Hal Elrod. You've probably seen a lot of people promoting this book this week. Hal is a true leader. Such a good human being. I was able to know Hal back in the days when he was working at Cutco. We worked there at the same time together. And he was a significant individual then and significant now, impacting millions around the world. This book is a must read. Please go to Amazon and buy this book this week. It's phenomenal. So you have to start with a good book. I don't think that you can just slap together a book and hope it's going to sell a bunch of copies and stand the test of time. So I think you really need to have a significant book. And Mike is a really phenomenal leader in that charge as well. The second thing you need to do is develop a master plan. And this is what I've been working on with Mike and AJ. So the master plan is something, I'm going to get into detail here in a second. The master plan is something that's going to serve you really, really well for any type of launch moving forward. So imagine it to be a very robust plan of all of the different ways that you can market your book and get support. So it could be anything from leveraging podcasts to getting in print, radio, and TV to getting trade reviews, social media, email marketing, video marketing. All of the ideas go into your master plan. Then, depending on the timeline you have for the launch, the budget, your goals, and the team that you have involved would determine what aspects of that plan you're going to use for your next launch. So let me give you an example. If you are launching an ebook, okay, you just created a 20-page, value add ebook that you're going to give away for free. The way that you launch that is very different than the way that you're going to launch like a legacy book, of course, right? So you can look at your master plan and think about, I want to pick line item 2, 10, 22, 36, 57, and 107 to then launch my ebook. So this master plan is going to serve you well for little launches, big launches, something that's more public in nature that leverages a lot of other influencers and promoters and partners, to something that's possibly more internal in your community. So really just something that goes out to your clients and to your following, right? So that master plan is something that Mike, AJ, and I have been working on for quite a while for Mike's next book launch. And at Author Up Live in June 3rd and 4th, we are physically handing over a copy of that launch plan to you, which is something that I've not heard of anybody else ever doing before. So it's a bold choice on our end, and we are thrilled to do it. So if you join us at Author Up Live, we're going to give you a copy of the launch plan that we are using for Mike's launch over the next 10 or 12 months now. Then we're going to spend 2 days deconstructing the master plan, going line item by line item. We're talking about more than 100 line items, going down the road, each one talking about what is this, why is it important, and how do you go about it? What are some hacks and tricks and strategies that we've used that have been successful for us in implementing those for past book launches and website launches, right? So program launches, anything like that. So we're going to deconstruct that. And then we have solo time plan and group time planned, where Mike, AJ, and I are going to be working with you on the ground floor to co-create a plan that is now yours. You walk out of the room after 2 days with your own master launch plan. We also give it to you in a digital form so that you can use it internally, chop it up any way that you want to moving forward. That is a tremendous value add. So that is something that we're really excited to give you at Author Up Live to make sure that your next legacy book launch is more significant into any other launch that you're doing as well. So just to kind of circle back, just to sum up, make sure we're all on the same page here. If you want to have a successful launch of any size moving forward, the old way of doing it, of building up a big list and hammering it, isn't going to work moving forward. The new way is to get your community involved, okay? So I'll circle to that in a second. If you want to have a more significant book launch, you need a great book, right? So we talked about the miracle equation here with Hal Elrod. We talked about Profit First here with Mike Michalowicz. Once you have your significant book, right, at least the idea, it's time to start preparing for the launch. Mike's launch is taking us a year to fulfill that plan, right? So you need time, you need runway to really make it a significant launch. The next step is you want to develop a master book launch plan so that you can refine it and make it your own depending on what kind of a launch you want to do. Now, a big theme inside of this master plan is this new way of launch in terms of involving the community. And I'm actually practicing what I'm preaching right now by doing this Facebook Live. So what my intention is in the next few weeks is to bring our community in on these Facebook Live streams and leverage their expertise, interview them, get them to promote themselves, right? These are incredible people with a lot of value to give to you for free. And by doing that, we get to work together toward a common goal of bringing awareness about Author Up Live, and we create a win-win. I'm somebody that always likes to lead by giving to others first. I believe that the more I get you what you want, then naturally, inevitably, through the laws of nature, we'll make it a win-win and I'll get what I want too. And what I really want most out of Author Up Live is I want to donate $50,000 to charity. So John Vroman's Front Row Foundation is the charity that we have chosen to donate a portion of ticket sales to. $500 of each person that shows up to Author Up Live. We are handing that straight over to John Vroman and his Front Row Foundation to help someone's dream come true, of getting them in the front row of an experience that is their dream, whether it's the Kelly Clarkson event or the Super Bowl or whatever it is. So we're very excited to pull in community in that way and give back. We are excited to take people who are attending our event and other influencers and getting them to come on board for a Facebook Live experience with me nearly daily for the next few weeks. And tomorrow we have John Schumacher coming in. I'm really excited about that. We're talking about how do you knock on the door of people that seem unreachable, these influencers, these people that you really want to connect with. How do you knock on their door and get them to actually pay attention to you? We're going to be talking about that live on our Facebook and YouTube feeds tomorrow. That is Friday, April 19th. We have John Lee Dumas in the house. We have John Vroman in the house, Melody Jones in the house. We've got some awesome people lined up to be on these Facebook Lives with me to give you value. We're in this together to make it a win-win, to spread their influence and their message, and to tie that back into how you can have a more successful launch using this new way of bringing in community, really up-leveling our game in terms of strategy and ideation and execution involving our team. So there's a lot of value that's going to be coming at you in these Facebook Lives. I'm going to do my best to keep them around 10 minutes, even though I'm a bit of a talker, bit of an over-deliverer. And I really encourage you to subscribe to the channel, make sure that you're paying attention, come watch the replay, share this with others, and more than anything, go to authoruplive.com. If you want a copy of Mike Michalowicz's book launch plan, if you want to leverage that for any type of book launch or other launch that you have moving forward. And I look forward to future lives where I'm going to share a whole lot more value about how to connect with influencers, how to market your message online, how to get your community involved, and how to really up your game and live your legacy. So let me know what you thought of this in the comments below, and I'll see you tomorrow.